Yo guys, welcome back to another Xenoverse video. This one is really just whatchamacallit, talk about the DLC, right? And my honest opinions on it. The short answer, it's really good. There's not really any like major complaints. I feel like the biggest complaint is the lack of like a beast form buff, but that's really all I can say as far as negatives. Um yeah, that's really it, huh? Because it's like one of the endings in the story mode is like average, I guess. It's okay. It's not like bad. It's not like a waste of time that it exists or anything. It's just like kind of there. But one thing that I genuinely don't like, I guess, is that they had the balls to tease a Xenoverse 3. And that's not some like bait or anything. Like, for those of you who played the DLC, you know what I'm talking about. Um, Basically Fuse talking about making some timeline where everyone's happy, generic, good guy shenanigans or whatever. And then Supreme Kai of Time's like, you know what? That's not like a terrible idea. And then she has this moment where she's like, no, I'm kidding, even though she's probably not. Yeah, that's really it, huh? Or yeah, that's really it as far as like negatives. Having the balls to tease Xenoverse 3, which wouldn't really be a negative if there was A, content you could make for Xenoverse 3, and B, gonna be published by a different company that, would actually give a fuck about the game. Because it's like, since they already put like everything that's in superhero and everything that matters from DBS Broly in the game, and everything that matters from Super and GT in the game. Uh, what else could they add? The short answer is like nothing. Like they literally have to actually start developing Heroes content at this point. If they're not adding Heroes content, the game has like no legs to stand on. So it's basically just gonna be like, uh, it's basically just gonna be Xenoverse 2 compared to Xenoverse 1 all over again. Yeah, sure, there'll be some like gameplay improvements, but it's at its core, it's the same game, flaws and all. So, the hypothetical Xenoverse 3 does not have me excited, especially knowing that Tenkaichi 4 or Dragon Ball Super Tenkaichi is what I'm willing to bet it's going to be called. Especially since we know that's coming out, and even if it doesn't come out until like 2024, we know that since it's happening, that's all we Dragon Ball fans need, because it's gonna be a sequel to the best Dragon Ball game that exists. And like, yeah, why wouldn't we want it? Uh, yeah. Sorry for that long stutter. I I really just blanked on what I was gonna say for a second, but basically, uh, yeah, DLC is pretty good. All the skills are usable. The Super Souls have their scenarios where they're good too. All the characters are playable and actually kind of fun. I wouldn't say Orange Piccolo's fun, but of all the characters of his type, he's definitely the most well made. Sorry. Obviously, the most appropriate comparison is Topo, because he's also super slow with very low stamina. But the thing that makes Orange Piccolo so much better, aside from everything, is his Super Soul is better. His Super Soul kind of compensates for his low stamina. Um, it compensates for his low stamina by making him a tank. take this as opposed to Topo's. It literally makes him take more damage on top of his insanely high or insanely low stamina. So Topo's not like practical. Like Orange Piccolo has the tools to where like low stamina isn't really a concern for him as much as it is for a lot of the other characters. Uh, yeah. And then Beast Gohan, if he was faster, he would unironically be the best character in the game. Like, I'm not even kidding. He does enough damage. His stats are well-rounded enough, despite definitely being centered more towards damage. He's got solid-ish stamina. His ki's really high. His health could be higher, but, you know, health isn't the most important stat, as goofy as it may sound. Ugh, sorry, I keep yawning. It's late. Yeah. And then Power Awakening Piccolo is just God. Like, he is so good. I'm actually upset that his, like, reworked moves don't work the way they do, like, for the rest of the characters. Because if, Light Grenade had that stagger effect, I promise you, it would actually be usable. Because then instead of that, like, Dookie Pew Pew, or having to basically dedicate a stamina break to it, you could just get in someone's grill with the beast combo, for instance, and then charge up a light grenade in their face, and yeah, really solid move. But I guess that would also require the beast combo to work that effectively online. And, you know, the beast combo itself just kind of sucks. Or not the beast combo, the beast form itself. Makes you take more damage. Doesn't give you, like, a stat increase to, like, stamina recovery or movement speed or any of that. It gives an increase in ki recovery, and it buffs your damage types, but, like, if I wanted higher ki recovery, I'd use God, because that gives me higher ki recovery, higher stamina recovery, and it gives me, like, a slight defense buff. Literally, why would I run Beast when I could just run God? A form with zero drawbacks whatsoever. And I'm operating under the assumption that they would at some point patch Beast to actually make it usable in spite of its animation. Like, I'm talking about a Beast form that you don't have to literally, like, dedicate your Super Soul to just to make it work. Like, I mean, like an actual practical scenario. And I'd still say Super Saiyan God is probably the best transformation in the game. Evolution Blue is close, but you do need some way to have, like, ki on hand, or else it's kind of eh. It's not... Again, it's worth being called the best transformation in the game, but it's like, Super Saiyan God's the most flexible. That's the thing. Super Saiyan God's, like, way more flexible. So, you could say it's the best. Alright. Sorry. Enough ranting about Beast. But yeah. DLC is very good. I would say this is probably the only DLC where I'm like, oh yeah, you're not really losing out on it if you buy it. Like, you're not like... You're probably not going to regret getting the DLC. It's not like a lot of the other DLCs, you know, DLC 12 and stuff like, or not, the Pycon and Topo one, because, okay, so Pycon supers are good, but Topo really just got the worst, like, end of the stick in every aspect. His stat spread's kind of dookie. They nerfed Arm Crash literally the day before he comes out with Arm Crash on it. Like, I feel like, unironically, that DLC is not worth getting just because anything related to Topo in that DLC is just automatically bad. And to be fair, as the DLC have come out, at least like in the last couple of years, they have been better. Like, there's been like a steady like improvement rate in the quality of these DLCs. But this is the one with like legit zero flaws. Like every negative in it would just be like personal bias. But let me know you guys' thoughts on the DLC. I think it's really good. I don't think there's like some super weak point. I would have liked Orange Piccolo to be better, I guess, because he's basically the main character of the movie. I know the most notable things, obviously, Beast Gohan, but it's like, let's be real. Piccolo's 90% of the movie. He gets two forms and everything. Right. It's definitely a Piccolo appreciation movie. So the fact that Piccolo gets done dirty like that is kind of silly to me. But anyway, enough about that. Like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts on the DLC yourselves down below. And without further ado, I'm out.